Would you still admire the beauty of a lake if it stared back at you? That's the question I should have asked myself before I moved into the lakeside cabin. At first, it was peace, escape, silence. But silence becomes sinister when something listens. And at exactly midnight, the lake stopped reflecting me alone. Before we dive deeper into this chilling mystery, don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment if you've ever felt like a place was watching you back. I came to Elsbeth Lake to heal. A breakup, a burnout, a breakdown, take your pick. All I knew was that I needed to get away from the noise. So when I found a small, affordable cabin by a lake deep in the northern woods, I didn't ask why the listing had been up for months, or why the owner only answered emails after midnight. The first few days were uneventful. I drank coffee on the porch, listened to the wind in the trees, and finally slept more than 4 hours a night. The lake was beautiful, still as glass, almost unnaturally so. No ripples, no ducks, no insects hovering above it. Just a perfect, dark mirror that reflected the sky and me. But on the 5th night, something changed. It was just past midnight. I had stepped outside to smoke, even though I had quit months ago. The moonlight hit the lake just right, and I noticed something strange in the reflection. I was standing on the dock, but the reflection wasn't alone. There was something standing right behind me. A tall, thin figure with long, wet hair and no face I could make out. I spun around, but of course, no one was there. I thought I was overtired, hallucinating. Maybe it was stress. Maybe it was guilt. But the next night, it happened again. This time, I didn't look away. At 12:03 a.m., the water rippled. Slowly, like something underneath was stretching. And then, from the depths of the reflection, a woman appeared. Pale, hollow eyes. Her white dress floated around her like it was underwater, even though she was standing right behind my reflection. She didn't move. She just stared at me, through the water. I ran back into the cabin, locked the doors, closed the blinds. But sleep didn't come, because I knew what I saw. And deep down, I knew she had seen me too. The next morning, I asked around in the nearest town. Locals were polite, but vague. One man finally spoke up in the diner, quietly. "You're in the cabin by the west dock, aren't you?" I nodded. She died there, 30 years ago. Drowned on her wedding night. They never found her body. But her fiancé, he kept seeing her reflection in that lake. Until one night, she looked back. That evening, I tried not to go outside. But something kept pulling me to the water, like a thread tugging at the back of my mind. So I went, at midnight. Again, she was already there, in the lake's reflection. But this time, she moved. She raised her hand slowly and pointed toward the cabin. I turned back and saw the door creak open on its own. Light flickered inside. I walked toward it, stupidly, like a character in a horror film who doesn't realize they're in one. But I had to know. Inside, everything was as I left it, except the mirror in the bedroom. There, instead of my reflection, I saw her, standing in my place, looking at me with grief and something else. Something like recognition. Then she whispered, so faintly I barely heard it, "You wear his face." The mirror shattered. I don't remember falling. But when I woke up, it was morning. Sunlight, birds, the lake, calm again, and nothing was in the reflection. But every night since then, at 12:03 a.m., the water ripples, and she returns. If a place ever feels too silent, too perfect, listen carefully. Because some lakes don't reflect the living. They remember the dead. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share if you enjoy chilling mysteries that whisper long after midnight.